welcome to Mana Podcast, Tarun and Abhishek. Tarun and Abhishek, with a very small introduction, I think you guys are doing wonderful things, and I don't want to explain what exactly you guys do, but I'm going to give you a chance to tell us how exactly you're helping, the country and the whole security sort of the section for the country. So, Abhishek, would you like to start and tell us what Innefu is, and how did you guys start Innefu? Like, what is the story and what is the motivation behind Innefu?
So to give you a brief background, Tarun and I are both batchmates, right? So we've been the best of friends since 2003. 2003 now, right? So 15 years. And we were batchmates in our engineering college in our engineering days. And
which college did you guys go to?
We did it from Bharatiya Vidyapeeth.
Okay, all right.
We did it from Bharatiya Vidyapeeth. And both of us are electronics engineer doing an IT job, right? So
I think that happens a lot, but not to this extent of IT, I think.
Yeah. So I think like every other engineering guys nowadays, we also had these dreams of starting something of our own, creating our own startup, and at that point in time the startup ecosystem was not like what it is today, right?
True.
So right now you have a much more flourishing ecosystem. At that point in time it wasn't there. That entire bubble wasn't there. So we always had big ideas, and there were a couple of things that we were always sure about. One was that we always wanted to come up with a product-based organization. We never wanted to be in the services sector.
Okay.
Because we did understand that the India as a country is, we're really good at creating TCS and Infosys and pros, right? But we really do not come up with Googles and the Facebooks of the world, right? So we wanted to have a product offering, and the second thing was that we always wanted to work in a very very niche technology core area, right? So
yeah, that makes sense. There's no point getting into a sector where it's already fully flourished. So
yeah, monetarily it does. We could have always made money doing that. It wasn't a big deal. We could still do that. But then it's I think people who run successful startups, it's not always about money, right?
True.
You need to be really passionate about what you're doing, and you should love what you're doing. So those were the couple of factors that drove us. But then again, post our graduation, for a couple of years, both of us went our own way.
Okay.
Was always the more adventurous guy. So he right from I think before he completed graduation, he had his first venture up and running.
He had his first
venture up and running.
Oh, okay.
And then in 2010, both me and Abhishek started Innefu. The story behind the name, you were curious about it. So when we named it, we were being very cocky. We named it for India's next future.
And that's what Innefu stands for. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what it did.
That's what it did stand for. Then
why did it still stands for it?
So now it stands for innovation for you.
Oh, you changed it.
Yeah, we changed the tagline. We said it innovation for you.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how Innefu started. The first couple of years were pretty tough, where we were spending a lot of time and a lot of money from our own pockets. And we developed our first product, which was a deep packet inspection technology working at speeds of at the ISP level, at the service provider telecom level. And that product was successfully deployed.
This was your first product, right?
Yeah, this was our first product, and we were, I think, a 22 people company at that point of time. And we deployed this product across the largest state in India, and it was working successfully. A lot of good results. We expected that product to, rake in revenues to the tune of 20-25 CR in the next year, and we got a lot of opportunities because we were the only Indian company to be doing that.
Okay.
Right, and no other Indian player in the field. But somehow the government came out with a guideline that only a product developed by DRDO can be deployed at service provider, because this is such a sensitive field.
And no private companies can do.
No private companies. Yeah. So we got that was a huge hit for us. A very very big hit.
Did this happen once the product was completely done, or when it was in the?
Yeah. It happened when we had Yeah, it happened when three other states, apart from apart from the state that we were working in, three other states were about to buy our product. So it happened then, right? So that's why I'm saying it was a huge hit for us. We were expecting revenues to the tune of 20-25 CR, and all of a sudden we realized that the market is no longer there for us. So we went back to the drawing board. When we
So
had
you
started,
started all over. So did you scrape the project completely? Did you try to modify and get something out of this
no,
missing
we used
product?
no, not that project. We used the code and snippets of that project into the other two products that we have. So
Okay.
definitely the expertise that we gained in developing that product, we used in the other two products. But we did not try and modify that product at all. For us, it was unfortunately, it was a dead end. But when we
So
had
what was the
started the
second
organization,
product that you guys came up with?
so you want to take that, Abhi?
So, yes, as Tarun has already told, so our first product, I mean, we reached a dead end there. But as he's already told, we had our own learnings from that, both in terms of, we actually grew from that project. We understood the technologies, and we were able to set up a small team, and a very proficient team for that matter.
Okay.
So as I said earlier, that we only wanted to work in core technologies. So two particular technologies excited us. One was cybersecurity, right? The other was big data analytics and artificial intelligence, right?
Okay.
So the second product that we started off at that point in time was to do with cybersecurity. And we have a patented offering now, which goes by the name of Auth Shield.
Auth Shield, right? Okay.
Auth Shield. So
that was your second product.
Yes, that was the second product. So Auth Shield is our patented multi-factor authentication offering. So we did understand, and we've been working with a lot of organizations for a lot of time. And what we try to do is to try and understand their problem areas. So we did understand that in terms of the security infrastructure that is there in the country, both with the enterprise and the government, we understood that the problem with cybersecurity is that why the hackers are having a ball of time. It's not because of all the infrastructure that is already there with the organization, right? It's primarily because of the people factor. It's because somebody would do a stupid mistake of just opening an email, just clicking a particular button, and that is about it. Boom, you're gone, right?
Right.
So we wanted to come up within cybersecurity. We wanted to come up with a product which basically reduces the dependence on the human factor, right? Or we wanted to basically make sure that the weakest chain is no longer the weakest chain in the security infrastructure, right? So that is where we came up with the concept of the multi-factor authentication. We must have heard about it. So it's basically, something something you are, and something you have. Right? So apart from password, we supplemented it with, hardware dongles, smart cards, mobile phones to generate your one-time passwords and everything. And we actually went a notch ahead, right? So we also capitalized on the biometric aspect of it, right? So we came up with our own solution, which is to do with fingerprint authentication. In fact, one of the largest enterprise in the country is using our biometric solution.
I remember talking to Tarun, and he said you guys are also associated with the Indian government, right?
The biggest deployment for multi-factor authentication globally has been for Government of India, and that is our solution. That's our solution which is running there. So we are protecting the most critical asset of GOI right now.
That's awesome. Also, like talking about news, right? So I also came across this news article which I remember you were mentioning last time. So this was one of your products as well, right? Where I think the police found 3,000 missing kids in just 4 days. So which product was this?
So this is the third product that Abhishek gave you an explanation on the second product, Auth Shield. The product which we developed side by side on big data analytics is called Prophecy.
Okay, and so this was due to the prophecy bit, right?
Yeah, this was due to just one module of Prophecy. So imagine if you use all modules of Prophecy, the power of the system. This is just one module of Prophecy where
the facial recognition is just one module of Prophecy. Okay.
It's a very complex and it's a framework. It's a very complex framework with multiple modules, include video analytics, image analytics, unstructured data, data from open source intelligence, and all of them correlated together in one big data repository to give you real-time alerts, to give you any kind of analytics on current and historical data. So Prophecy is a complete repository for any law enforcement agency. They cannot do without that. And
And would you say, other than the government, like who else would be interested in a product like this?
so as of now, Prophecy, we have tailored and released it only for the law enforcement agencies.
Okay.
But in this year, we are going to be releasing modules of Prophecy. When I say law enforcement, that also includes financial fraud, right? So Serious Fraud Investigation Office is one of our big customers. But over this 1 year, we intend to release different versions of Prophecy for banking and financial sector, as well as enterprises.
Okay, all right. How do you get in touch with your clients? Like, what is your main, channel of acquisition?
So as of now,
Because I don't think these products can be, there's any point, marketing the usual way, right? Like it's a very, very powerful and the clientele is very, very, very targeted.
True. So as of now, referral and word of mouth is working brilliantly for us.
Okay.
See, as a community, intelligence community or law enforcement agencies are a very close-knit unit, right? Everybody knows everyone. So when you make one huge success, which we did for the largest paramilitary organization in the country, suddenly that product, and it was the first of its kind. So it created so
spotlight came
many
on
big,
it.
yeah, the home secretary, both the current and the previous home secretary has seen that product and so on. So suddenly everybody was going to that paramilitary organization, looking at the product, and we were getting queries from everywhere. Since we have deployed that product, since our first acquisition, in the past 4 months, we have got 3 more acquisitions. So, it took us almost 1 year to close that first client. But then in the past 3 months, we have already got 3 more
Three more
acquisitions.
clients. Awesome.
Yeah.
So what I'm sure you guys have covered like most of the, the cybersecurity fields in these 3 products, right? So what is your future plan? Do you plan on building another product? And if you are, so what is that product going to be about?
I think product in itself is a journey. So, creating a product, it takes a lot of hard work. There are 2 things that we plan to do. One thing is, of course, we need to nurture our product further. We want to basically convert processing to a really new data analytical platform that can basically take care of everything and anything in terms of analytical.
As of now, cybersecurity is limited to enterprises, right?
Right.
As a normal user, I use antivirus from Kaspersky Quick Heal or Windows Defender, and I feel I'm safe.
Correct.
That's no longer the case. The hackers are now no longer hacking your enterprise. They are hacking your credentials. So if I hack into your, let's say, Gmail ID, I am willing to bet that the same password that you have for your Gmail ID
will be for everything else.
Yeah, for maybe your net banking, for maybe your Facebook or whatever, right? And not just that, even in your Gmail ID, there would be tons of information you may not be aware of.
Correct.
There's a huge underground market today where people are selling their old cell phones, and other people are buying that just to get access to your data. So so cybersecurity with consumer is the next big thing. And we intend to be at the forefront of that. We realize that we have covered the enterprise space. We are working extensively with the government. But now the time has come where the nation or maybe the world at large start looking at cybersecurity from an individual's perspective.
Makes sense.
That's our product. Yeah, we want to take it to the B2C market now.
B2C market. Perfect. So when do you plan on working? Have you started working on this?
Yeah, the product is we already started working on the blueprints, but we are so tied up with what we are doing right now. We have to capitalize on whatever we are doing right now. We have to expand outside. We already got a first acquisition in Middle East. We have got a first acquisition in Middle East, and hopefully by the end of this month, we'll have our first acquisition in Africa as well.
Okay.
So
Tarun, you guys have already been funded, right? Like you've already had your first round of angel investment.
True.
Yeah.
Pre-series there.
So, and you plan to raise another round of funding soon? Like
in the next year, we intend to raise another round of funding.
And this is for your expansion process?
Both expansion process in terms of marketing as well as expansion process in terms of the new product that we are talking about.
As well. And you guys are already a big team of what, 100 people? Almost.
As of now, we have 95 people.
Okay, Abhishek, who is the one person that you admire the most?
My father.
Father, Tarun.
I didn't get the question.
Who is the one person that you admire the most?
Same answer for me, my father.
Okay, all right. You can't copy answers very often, just say.
No, that's the same answer for both.
All right. Abhishek, what is your biggest addiction?
Technology.
Technology. That's a very safe answer. Okay,
I have to play safe.
Well, he already stole my answer. I can't give the same answer.
No, technology cannot be your answer.
Yeah, so I can't give the correct answer, right? So I'll let that go.
Okay, fine. All right. Abhishek, describe Tarun in 3 words.
Passionate,
Mm-hmm.
extremely talented,
Mm-hmm.
go-getter.
Okay, perfect. Tarun, your chance.
So he's probably the most hardworking guy I know. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he can make do with 2 hours of sleep regularly
Three words,
over
no,
a
3 words.
period
Use
of
words.
time.
Yeah, you gave
Hardworking.
3 words.
Hardworking does not really define it well, but hardworking definitely.
Okay. Okay.
Super talented. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you give a problem statement to him. I've never seen a situation where he has not come up with a solution to that.
Solution to it. Okay.
And extremely calm in pressure cooker situations.
Abhishek, which superhero would your co-founder be and why?
You mean which superhero was Tarun?
Yeah, which super if you had to assign a superhero to Tarun, right? Any of the superheroes, which one do you think is more applicable and why?
Good question.
Tarun, if you have an answer, you can start first. You can give Abhishek
I
more time to think.
I would have said Iron Man or Batman, but considering that he's not as big a flirt as Iron Man, so I would say I'll go with Batman.
Okay.
I will go for Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Because I mean, we can change dimensions and time, so that is something that we can really come on.
All right, moving on. Which one among both of y'all are always late? Like who's punctual and who's not?
Okay, I'm not punctual.
Okay, yeah, he accepted.
I answer that question.
All right. And Abhishek, when are you most productive? Like, is it in the morning? Is it in the evening? What is your most productive timing? Evenings. Okay. Okay. And Tarun?
Um, I'm usually productive when I have to do work, right? When I have work to do, that is when I'm at my best. Otherwise, I'm lazing around.
Anytime. That can be any time.
Yeah, that can be anytime. Anytime I am in the middle of too many things, I can
Mhm.
multitask and do all those things. But yeah.
All right. One more question. I think Tarun will start with you. Which song reminds you of Abhishek? If you had to assign a song.
That's a difficult one. I'll have to actually think of too many songs. I'll have to think of songs. I can't think of a song on the top of my head.
Any song. I'm sure you can think of like any song.
No, I remember he used to play a guitar in college. So
Mm-hmm.
one of the songs that I've always associated with him is the Guns N' Roses song. Right? That's how I've just associated those
Okay.
metal bands with him. But if
Okay.
I have to think of a song, if I have to go a little Indian, I would like to think of that Sholay song.
Which one?
ये दोस्ती हम नहीं तोड़ेंगे.
Okay. Okay. All right. Perfect. And Abhishek?
I'll go for the Sholay song with.
You can't copy him now. That's Tarun's All right. So this is the last section of the round. I give you a word, all right, and you tell me the first thing that comes to your head when I give you that word. Okay, technology.
Passion.
Tarun.
Apple.
Okay. Business.
Innefu.
Okay. Same. All right. Bharatiya Vidyapeeth.
Fun. Fun.
All right. Hacking.
Sorry?
Hacking.
Fun.
Necessary for my
Necessary.
business.
All right. Family.
Everything.
Same answer for me, everything.
Money.
Necessary.
Sorry.
Important, necessary.
Okay. Email. What is the first thing that
Avoid.
comes to head? Avoid.
Avoid. Oh, you get 200 mails in a single day. How can you respond to all them? So you prefer to avoid most of it.
All right. All right. I think we're done with the round. Before we, close the conversation, there are two things that I would want you guys to talk about, right? First thing is, what would you want to point out and sort of probably address or talk about with respect to the startup culture in India?
So see, I honestly believe that until and unless we change the culture within, as of now, we Indians have a mindset. We'll trust everyone but an Indian company, and this is something which we discussed in our last call, right?
Right.
The biggest resistance we faced were not our technology. Our technology was better than the competitors. We defeated IBM in a couple of tenders recently, right? And we defeated RSA in the Government of India project. Our technology was better than most of the than any of the competition. But what worked against us was that we are an Indian company, and that when we are living in India.
Correct.
So I think one thing the government has to change specifically in respect to the startup ecosystem is they need to realize that it's not just the startup ecosystem which needs government help. If the government does not support the startup ecosystem, they are the ones who are gonna lose out ultimately.
Correct.
We are talking about national and economic security.
So you'd
Both
say
of
a
those
more
aspects
encouragement against international products if the product is equally good, right?
I'm saying even if the product is not equally good, fund the company. See, if you look at it, we are competing with a company called Palantir. Right? Palantir is funded by InQtel. It's now a $59 billion company. I was attending a conference one of these days where somebody mentioned that let the startups, if they are that good, let them compete with the foreign products on an equal footing. How do you define an equal footing? You've already funded a company $200 million. The US government has funded a company $200 million.
Correct.
You're asking me to compete with that company on an equal footing. For that to happen, you need to fund me, right? I'm just saying, forget the fact that the product may not be as good. It will evolve. Everything evolves with time. Our processes in the government are not good, but they're evolving, and we're adjusting to that. So I think the government needs to realize that for our national and economic security, they need to support the startup. The startup will flourish. We today, even if we don't work with the government of India, we'll end up, our product is good. We are selling it in Middle East, we are selling it in Africa. If the government of India does not support us, we will get a hit, yes, but we will still sell it. We'll still survive.
But the country is going to go on a loss.
Yes, that is what exactly what's going to happen.
So one last thing before we close, right? There are a lot of, so you guys are doing really well, right? And there are a lot of startups in India who have not started the whole journey. You guys have seen the problems, you guys have faced it. So is there any sort of, a general problem that you guys faced and found a solution to that you would want to share with people who are starting off new so that they can avoid the whole process? Like, what is that one piece of advice that you guys would give for people who are starting off new?
I would say just two things. I think patience and persistence.
Patience and persistence. Okay.
It's very, very critical for the startup. You may not taste success on the first day, the first year, the first 5 years. So you need to be patient, not give up too easy, and you need to be persistent. You have to pursue it, and it's gonna happen.
Tarun, do you have any other?
So that was the first thought that was in my mind, that don't give up. Right? There will be hard times, but if you persist, you will get opportunities to succeed. Whenever you get an opportunity, give it your best shot. There would be times when you'll get no matter the quantity of the order, it's a big order, small order, doesn't matter. It has to go where the client says that this is the best experience I've had. Don't focus just on the product, don't focus on the technology, focus on the end experience. That the customer experience has to be seamless. And as Abhishek mentioned, don't give up.
All right, perfect. All right, guys, I think we're done. Thank you so much for your time, and I wish you all the best for your new product, and I'm sure your products are going to do great because I can already see it making a difference in the country.